I'm going to give you a simple explanation of how you can price for profit with confidence. If you've ever wondered how to strategically price your product or service to ensure not only that your costs are covered, but that you're actually making a profit, did you ever wish you could just have a plug-and-play calculator tell you exactly what to charge? Well, sit back and relax and get ready to nerd out with me on how to price your service or product for profit with confidence. Plus, if you stay to the end, I'll give you all the details about how you can obtain my free pricing calculator. But first, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can get more profit out of your small business and start loving your business even more. Hey friend, welcome to our circle on the internet. If you're new here, my name is Cheryl. I'm a CFO, profit strategist, and your favorite numbers geek. My business partner, Katrina, and I help small business owners like you turn more of your revenue into profit so you can successfully fund your dreams and finance your future. Today, I'm going to teach you our two-part formula to ensure all your prices are strategic and profitable, plus give you an explanation on how you can use our plug-and-play pricing calculator. And once again, if you stay to the end, I'll show you how you can get that calculator for free. Imagine this for me. You're a landlord and you are charging people rent to use your space. But that rent is not even coming close to covering the cost of the building. It's not paying for your taxes, it's not covering the maintenance, and it's not covering the mortgage or the rent. So basically, that exact scenario is what our client was doing. I was quickly able to identify this issue when I was completing my client's profit strategy. Basically, profit strategy is just when we take the numbers that you have been doing, taking your historical financials, taking into account new characteristics of the business, and make a plan for how much your business will make in the future. We look at what your business will make, how much you personally will make, and your expenses. It's just a financial blueprint of your business. I was in the process of creating this financial blueprint for our client, and it became apparent that the amount she was charging for renters in her salon, like booth renters, was not even coming close to covering the expenses. And that's when I was like, we have to dive into your pricing on what we're charging for rent for these booth rentals. And we need to ensure it's strategic because one, you're not even covering the cost. And two, it's obviously not profitable if we're not covering the cost. The reason why I share this real life example that just happened, and quite frankly happens all the time, is my goal is for you to understand that pricing is strategic. You cannot just throw a number at the wall and think it works, regardless if you're a product or service-based business. That is just not how you price with confidence and price for profit. We utilize a two-step formula that ensures not only are you covering the cost, but that you're also profitable and consider the customer who's going to eventually buy. Because at the end of the day, if we price our services or products to a price point where people aren't going to buy them, it does us no good. So let me walk you through our two-step pricing formula. First, it starts rather scientific. The easiest way we have found to strategically price your products or services, and we use this for numerous businesses of all varying industries, is our plug-and-play calculator. So the first thing we're going to do is enter our direct cost. Don't let the verbiage intimidate you. All direct cost is the expense directly related to making that product or service. For example, if you sell t-shirts, the cost of the t-shirt and the person pressing the t-shirt, for example, would be a direct cost. If you offer a service, for instance, if you offer an accounting service, the amount of time it takes the bookkeepers to complete the books would be a direct cost. Now, here's a quick tip, because a lot of people forget this, and this is where they get hung up. You have to include the owner, regardless if they are working in to complete. So for instance, let's go back to our t-shirt example. If the owner may not be pressing the t-shirt, but if they're helping to sell it or do anything for that specific t-shirt to get sold, we need to account for their time and their wages, regardless if you pay them that way. Like for instance, when we price out our accounting services, we for sure included us in the, my business partner and I, in the hourly wage section, even though our distributions aren't based on this. More of this information is covered in the Profit Academy, where we dive really deep into pricing strategically. But moving on to the next component. So for our example, let's pretend we're doing our hair salon and our owner she makes $200 an hour and she's going to spend 2 hours a month. And in this example, she has receptionists. They make $20 an hour. I'm just making up numbers. And they're going to work over the course of a month, 40 hours. Perfect. We do not provide any materials. We're just renting out those booths. There's no materials provided. So it's going to cost us $1,200 to offer this salon services. All right, now the indirect cost, once again, let's not get caught up on verbiage. If you want a deep dive into any of this verbiage, take the Profit Academy. We go really deep into all these topics, but like in bite-sized chunks, so you'll actually do it. Anyhow, the indirect is, if we were to just charge $1,200, we would be losing money because it costs a lot more than $1,200 to operate this business. There's a lot of expenses that you have as a business owner that are not tied directly to a product or service. This is known as an indirect cost. So we obtain this from the profit and loss statement. So for this example, let's pretend the monthly indirect costs are $5,800. So about 20%, we have to mark up the direct cost by almost 21%. So you'll see that figure down here. It automatically does the math for you. And once again, you can get a copy of this for free. Just stay till the end and I will tell you how to get it. But if we were to charge just $1,400 to rent out the studio, we're just covering the cost. That's just the cost in this imaginary example. And that's part one. Part one is the scientifically, mathematically, what does it cost to provide this product or service? And in this case, it is $1,448. Part two of this process is going to really require you to be objective, to take a step back and pull out any emotional ties you have to your product or service. Let's jump in. All right, in this second part of this process, you're going to come down here. We're going to start with the profit markup. Now, what profit markup is not a set in stone number, and it really varies between industries, products, and services you offer. I've seen anywhere from as low as like 5% when it's done intentionally, all the way upwards of over 100%. And what you're doing is, this is where you're making money off of your service or product. So for instance, as I said, if we only charge this, we are literally breaking even. We're in business to make a profit, otherwise we're not going to stay around. Some industries like food and beverage typically have a 50%, if not higher, markup. It really varies and there's no science to it. Oftentimes I hear service industries have about 20 to 30% profit markup. I would research your industry specific to help determine what you want to do. For this scenario, let's use a 20% profit markup. So what you can see here is, this is the price of the product or service. And of this price, only $240 of it is true profit for the business. When you come up here, this, even though it goes to the owner's pay in theory, is not profit. How many of you have heard, just charge your worth, or raise your prices, whatever you put, they will come, there's a market for it? I don't subscribe to that, and here's why. If you cannot find somebody willing to buy your product or service at the price you market it at, and you're spending all this energy trying to find one customer, you're wasting your time. It's imperative that you price strategically and stop tying your worth to your product or your service, because it does not correlate. The worth of you as a human does not correlate to your product or service. And it would be ignorant if we ignored what our competitors were charging, because if the customer doesn't go with you, they're going with someone else, and we need to know why. So this is where I want you to research 3 competitors and put in their price for service. So I'm just going to pick random competitors and pretend that this is what they're charging. And what this does is, it's just creating that competitor average based on 3. If you only have 2, you'd go in and update it. So, and this is not calculated into your product or service, but it gives you like something to compare to. And then this is where we do what I call feathering. feathering is where we take the cost of our product or service, so we're at just shy of $1,700. We compare it to our competitor and we objectively compare, meaning is what we offer better, different, more desirable than our competitors, or perhaps it's less desirable. And let me give you a real life example. When I started our accounting firm, while I had over 10 years of accounting experience, I was new to owning my own business. So at that time, the cost of my service is less than what we charge now. It's not that I as a human am worth any less. It's that service, being a new business owner, objectively was worth less than I charge now, right? And that's okay. So when you look at your cost of product or service and you compare it to your competitors, be objective. What are they offering that you are not? How does yours stack up? And if you're offering something different, if what you're offering is more customized, if it's more desirable, mark that up. This is whether you feather it higher. Now, if your product or service doesn't offer the exact same things that these competitors do, perhaps you want to lower. So this is that non-scientific part. So I'm just going to pretend our services were newer. They're about, let's do $40 less, right? So then you're going to see how that calculates down here. Let's go back to our salon, for example. This is the cost. This is the price of our product or service to rent the entire area. But let's say we have 3 booths in that area and we want to know what we should charge per booth. This is when we come to tab 2, and you can use the same theory for different products or services. But I'll give you an example here. So let's pretend this is a 3. We should charge each booth renter $549. Now, I would use pricing psychology and I wouldn't say, let's charge $549.43. I might round up, round down, but you get the idea. And we're able to price this service strategically and for profit, because if we don't price our businesses for profit, how are we going to stay in business? We discussed the manual overhead in the Profit Academy, so if you want more information on if you should use a manual overhead rate versus your actual overhead rate, you can hit on that over there. So as promised, I want to let you know how you can get a copy of our strategic pricing calculator. So you are not only pricing to cover the cost, but you are pricing for profit and doing so confidently. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment down below pricing, that's all you have to write is pricing, I will make sure you get a copy of our pricing calculator that you can use within your business. And if you want more information on our full course, in which we deep dive into how to manage your own books, how to plan for profit, as well as how to handle the cash once it comes into your business, plus a couple bonuses like our course on pricing, comment Profit Academy down below. That's all I have for you today. We put out videos weekly, so if you found this info helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps our channel grow a little bit. And make sure you check out the related videos. After all, why own a business if you're not going to profit?